Alright, in this video I'm going to show you how to set up a AVP encoder from the advanced GUI. So go over to service configuration and click the plus next to host outputs. I always set up the modulator first. So you right click on the modulator to add transport stream. Then you right click on the transport stream to add a service. I go ahead and apply here just to make sure those are set. Once you have the transport stream and the service set, you come over to slot 4 and you add the video stream by clicking on it, dragging it, and adding it to the service. You'll see everywhere else I try to put it, it's red, but when I hover over service it turns green. You just drop it there and your video shows up. In slot 3 is your audios. So you do the same thing. Grab an audio stream, bring it, hover over service, and drop it. You can also, by clicking on one, selecting shift and click, you can pull multiple audio streams at the same time into a service. Alright, now go ahead and apply. So I'm going to build a service that has one video and 6 audios. So I start with the service modulator and start with the parameters. This particular one's going to be IF. You can also select L band. The output state is off. The output power up state I want to off as well. The IF frequency is 70 meg and my IF power out is at -20. IF spectrum sense is set to normal. Go to the modulation parameters tab and select your modulation parameters. DVB-S2, APSK, 3/5, and the symbol rate is 15. Here you can set your roll-off factor and it shows you your bandwidth you've chosen. Input parameters, you just make sure your input source is to stream 1 and everything else really doesn't need to be changed. Then you go down to transport stream. Now there's two things you got to make sure here. First, you got to make sure it's set to maximize video. In most cases this is the setting we want, but you also want to make sure you put it online. See how it's offline right now? So I go ahead and click online and transport stream is 1. You want DVB, auto disable, never. You want the conditional access tables and the transport stream tables to be on. The network ID we usually leave at 65535. The NIT tables aren't that important, but you can leave them on. The extended NIT I usually turn off. Doesn't really matter in most cases. Then I go ahead and click apply all. So now your modulator and your transport stream are set and on. Next I go down to service. Your service ID for a single service is going to be 1. The PMT PID's 32. The PCR PID will follow when we switch the video PID. Service provider is PSSI Global Services. The service name, this particular one, we'll just put test primary, and digital TV is fine. NIT parameters, logical channel 1's fine. Now under BIS key, if you're going to do BIS encrypted, here's where you would turn it on. And then I go ahead and I put apply to every section so I don't forget to go back and change them. Next we'll go to the video PIDs, the video tab, the input. So it says video input lock because I don't have any video coming into it right now. The source, You can have different sources. I'll just put it on color bars for fun. Input detection. I usually leave auto detect and report on. So what that does is down here, it'll show you the video standard coming into the encoder, but it won't make any changes. It'll still let you make the changes. It'll ask you if you want to. Adaptive pre-processing off. Horizontal bandwidth, I always leave at 100. Everything else is not too important there. The output embedded PCR on is the only thing I really... AR signaling off. And on the encode, we're going to change this to HD MPEG-2 422 8-bit. We're going to go low delay, and we're going to make sure the GOP length is 30 IBBP. Close GOPS off, scene cut detection off. VBI, this is where you would turn on closed captioning if you're doing closed captioning. You just scroll down to closed captions. Right now it's off. You'd change it to 334 if you wanted closed captioning on. You go to the component menu, and this is where you put the video PID. I'm going to make it 308. Now for the audios, you start with input, uncompressed. For audio 1, I'm going to have embedded SDI 1. Encode MPEG layer 2, 384, it's stereo, embedded PCR on. Also down here in the advanced menus where you would change lip sync if your client wants you to offset the lip sync for any reason. And then you go over here to component, and I'm going to change the PID to 256. Second one, I'm going to change to 257. Go back to input, embedded 2, encode's 384. This one's also stereo, and the same with the third one. Third one is embedded 3. This one's not a stereo pair, it's a mono pair, so I'm going to change this to 1+1. I'm going to come down here and make sure the languages are both English, because the ones I want are English. And then I'm going to change the component to 258. And that's basically how easy it is. And I'm going to apply everything. I can come over here and look at my dashboard, and it shows me that I have no ASI output stream. I built a modulator output stream. It shows me the transport stream size. If you come down here, it'll show you the video and the audios and how much your null packets are. So you go back to service configuration, and I'm going to teach you how to copy the transport stream into the ASI. So you click on the transport stream, click edit and copy, and then come up here to the ASI output, go back to edit, and then paste as mirror. Now what that does, it takes everything from your transport stream and it automatically mirrors it to the ASI output on the encoder. So if now when you go back to the dashboard, you can see you have an ASI output and a modulator output stream. So now you could use a deck tech or some sort of ASI stream analyzer to go through your encoder and make sure your settings are correct. And that's the basics of setting up an encoder from the advanced menu.